Good evening to members of the media. Congratulations to the team. I thought a well-deserved victory. I thought we were in control throughout the match. We took enough risks when necessary. We had enough control in the areas we wanted to have control. We prepared well, not as best as we could, but we prioritized the legs, and so we used video footage. Fortunately, the memory and the events of the past game were not so far away from the brains of our players, so we could recall some of the events, and when we did the corrections, we did a review. It allowed us to prepare very well against a very good side, well coached by Coach John Maduka. But congratulations to this group of players, fantastic group of players. Throughout 90 minutes, I thought we were in complete control, and I'm very proud. In fact, we should have scored more, in my opinion. I thought again we were so like 2 days ago. We were so wasteful in around the box, But look, 2 goals. We missed a penalty. We could have had more, but I'm happy with the 3 points. I'm happy with the performance. I'm very, very happy with the performance and proud of the players.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win. A few weeks ago, you spoke about taking lessons from Liverpool analysts in terms of how to find a break from the teams that are defending deep. Obviously, maybe we are implementing those ways or whatever that you learned. You're scoring goals now. Would you say the results are coming out?
Because it's the quality of the players. We've got very good players, and for me, it's just the quality of the players.
Coach, you spoke about making so many changes. I look at in terms of the back four, it was only maybe one. Vala, we cannot. Previously was being more advanced. Even you made those changes, but that fluidity, that crispness was still there. Does it also that surprise you sometimes as much as you do all those things in training, but there's sometimes that there's still an element is still there?
No, it doesn't surprise me because for 2 reasons. One is I complained a lot about it at the end of the season. So at the beginning of the season, they heard a lot from me about it, and being the human beings that they are, I'm humbled that they've received the message. And number 2 is we don't train for 11 players at Sundowns. I can't train the team for 11 players. I train for the entire team. And so there are certain principles and schemes that we adopt in certain moments and in certain things that we want to do. And everybody has to know exactly what we have to do in certain moments. For some, it takes a little bit longer than others. And that's why it's not always easy for the adaptation of players who join us in January, for an example, without a preseason, and that's football. But to be honest with you, I think the approach that we take as a technical team is that we don't train for the team. We train for the group, for everybody that's involved in the team to understand the principles and the schemes and how we want to play.
Coach, obviously you've passed the 50 mark now in terms of the amount of wins. You're 59 unbeaten in the league. I know in the past you've spoken about appreciation, receiving that appreciation from the South African football fraternity. So I'm very interested to find out from you, do you perhaps feel, it's very hard for people to appreciate things while they are happening in the moment, and perhaps your team, Rhulani Mokwena, will probably be remembered in the future, in hindsight, when people are looking at what you have done and what you are currently achieving now?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. I think history has no blank pages, and there's going to be something written about this group, and I don't know what will be written, but there will be something written about this group. But I'm also I'm an avid animal or nature type of person. I watch a lot of National Geographics. I watch a lot of things about the nature and conservation and what happens in the wildlife. And there's actually a very interesting story I saw the other day, where the story of the crow and the eagle. And if you go into it, you'll find that the crow is always on the back of the eagle, biting its neck. But the eagle never ever fights the crow back. What it actually does is that it actually ascends to even greater heights, up until the crow loses oxygen and starts to fall off. And that for me is a big lesson in life, is that you may have people on your back, maybe not appreciating, maybe talking negative about you, but the reality is what you should be doing, instead of fighting and using that energy to fight those people, you should be like the eagle and ascend to even greater heights, because eventually you get to a point where you're so high that they can't maintain it anymore and they start to fall off. And that's how I can answer your question.
Last question.
Coach Rhulani, on the first half, we saw you were using a low block with not a high tempo game. You were just playing 1-2s. But on the second half, towards the final end of the game, we saw you guys firing on all cylinders, right wing and left wing. Was it your intention that they must start on a low pace, not trying to commit themselves too much on the first half?
No, and I don't think that's true. I think we played well. I think we controlled the tempo well. I think we used the right energy at the right time. The games are coming thick and fast, and so we can't play 150 kilometers an hour for 90 minutes. It's impossible. So I thought today we were good in terms of managing the tempo. We played fast when we were supposed to play fast. We played slow when we were supposed to play slow, and I think we played the game the right way today.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Last question comes.
Oh, Coach, I just wanna. The Sibango has got a very beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I remember the last time you said people they need to be very patient with him. Do you think him scoring such a beautiful goal today, although you did take him out after, do you think it's gonna give back his confidence?
Lisiba doesn't need confidence at the moment. Lisiba needs time. He's like all of them, Esquivel, they all need time. Lodge, they don't need confidence, they need time. And I spoke about Lisiba because I could see the amount of criticism, and which was really undue, that he was getting. But like I still advocate that give him time, guys. Give him time. The best is yet to come. Believe you me, the best of Lisiba is yet to come. And I can say the same about so many of the new players like Esquivel, like Lucas Ribeiro. I don't think we've seen the best of Lucas Ribeiro, even though I think he's a close contender for football of the season. I honestly think, in my opinion, as I said even before, it's Rhulani Williams, Lucas Ribeiro, Marcelo Allende, and Rhulani Mokwena. And then there must be, you have to commend the contribution of Maswangai and maybe Adams. But the reality is the level of Ronza, the level of Tepsa, the level of Marcelo Allende, when he comes on today, you can see, and the level of Lucas Ribeiro, for me, they've been outstanding this season, so that's but be patient, as I said, just a little bit of patience will help.
Coach, I'm looking at the situation. 54 games were played, and some of the players went to national team, played seven games. Let's talk about games of consequences, and those games at AFCON were consequences, and the level because of AFCON was too high. Now, they're gonna break for the World Cup in June. I mean, the World Cup qualifiers in June for Bafana Bafana. What are you hoping? What is your plea to SAFA? Because not to overload them, because I mean, you've got a bigger fish to fry next year. There's a 7 competition you're gonna be in June next year. So what is your plea to SAFA? Maybe maybe I can also speak the question. Are you in talks with the fitness trainers SAFA of how to overload because of players of the amount of game they play?
No, I'm not in talk with SAFA. I don't have a relationship with the coach of South African Football Association, so I focus on what I can do.
So will you give maybe as soon as the squad is announced, maybe to send your own overview of the players up in the note, just to say, I mean, you've got a big fish to fry next year.
I don't want to fight nobody, because once I start talking about those things, it's as if I'm fighting. So I'd rather stay out of that space and manage what I can manage, which is my players, and try my level best to make sure that they are fit, they are strong, and that they are enjoying their football and improving.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Take care.